Hey guys, Desolate Magic here, and I intended to watch the live stream today showing off Kamigawa, but then I don't know, did other stuff, showed up at the wrong time, and I don't know, fell asleep or something. Whatever, it was probably cringe, but everybody was saying just give us any set that isn't awful, just something that's actually fun to play with mechanics that are actually good. And they said, well, the best we can do is confusing colors, fragment the rarities and versions even more, put a bunch of anime weeb crap in, and here have a pink samurai. So this is basically Kamigawa Japanese stereotype / Fruit Ninja edition. So this will be a treat. So first up, we've got an upgrade for the Dragon Treasure deck. If you think I'm kidding, read the bottom lines. But anyway, it's Atsushi, sounds delicious. 4-cost double red, which it kind of has to be by their own policies because the reserve list, because it's a whole video, just go watch it. So 4/4 flying trample but not haste. Okay. And when it dies, so remember, they brought this out turn 3 or 4 with a treasure ramp deck. You already killed it. Now, when it dies, they can exile the top 2 cards of their library until end of your next turn, or the owner's next turn. You may play those cards. Play, not cast, so they get a bonus land off of it probably. Or create 3 treasure tokens. Yeah, they knew exactly what deck this was going in. Boy, stuff that micromanaging and targeted, that sounds an awful lot like Alchemy to me, but this is in the real set, so yeah, I don't like this. I don't think that's enough to revive that deck because not many people play it anymore, but boy, that deck was just hard to counter. Next up, we've got Death Massacring Names. Let's see, is it? Well, probably Hidesugu, I think. I think the T's silent. In the made-up Romanized spelling, that makes no sense. If you're going to Romanize it, make it spelled phonetically. So this is one of the showcase frames, and as you can see, it comes in 4 different colors. Why not 5 colors? Why are you asking me? I don't know. Why is yellow one of the colors? I have no idea. I mean, why are some of the colors the same colors as mana, but some of them aren't? I don't know. I assume to help pros cheat at tournaments. And the frame changes slightly, which means they're probably doing this to a whole bunch of different creatures. Oh boy. This is even better than the dragon wearing a helmet from the last spoiler I just did. Alright, so this is a 4-drop, 4/4, Ogre Demon, legendary creature. You can pay 1 black, stack a creature, scry 2. Okay. Better than a free sack outlet. And then if you pay 2+1 red, that's interesting. Tap it, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Well, at least it won't go in an Izzet deck. Not of this color and this casting cost. And then whenever you do exile an online card this way, apparently whether or not you play it, he deals damage equal to the exiled card's mana value to any target. There's a really expensive modern card that does something awfully similar to this, and this one, okay, you got to pay for it, and it's off color, but damn, that's good. And remember, the Art Deco New York set after this is going to have nothing but demons in it, so if this doesn't look good yet, they might just be waiting. Cards don't always get printed in the sets they were going to get printed in, and I could cite like 100 examples of that from Mark Rosewater. So next up, we got Kaito Shizuki, and since that's literally just Suzuki with a couple letters flipped around there, they're probably going to think it's hilarious boomer humor to make that a brand of car. Anyway, this is a 3-cost, 3 loyalty, black-blue. Planeswalker, of course, and he has the passive ability, which I do not like. At the beginning of your end step, if Kaito Shizuki entered the battlefield this turn, he phases out. Oh, that's not even an ongoing effect. That's like a delayed ETB trigger. I'm fine with that. I'm just sick of, whenever you drop in a land or a creature dies, put a loyalty counter on this. That's so utterly broken and annoying. It was cool when they were just like enchantments that you could attack instead of real planeswalkers in War of the Spark. When they start putting triggered abilities and stuff that goes off multiple times per turn on actual planeswalkers, now we got a problem, like Lulth. So +1, I can barely read this damn card, jeez. Okay, +1, draw a card, then discard a card unless you attacked this turn, in which case then don't. -2, create a 1/1 blue ninja creature token with this creature can't be blocked. Oh, good! Blue ninja creature tokens that are probably generated by 15 other permanents in the set, and they can't be blocked. That explains why they haven't been adding much equipment post-rotation. And then -7, which is a ways away, which means it's probably pretty powerful. Oh yeah, you get an emblem. There you go. When a creature deals combat damage to a player, search your library for a blue or black creature card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. In other words, just win the game. I mean, you can never get to him again. You can never stick another creature into the battlefield without getting it blown away ever again. This is standard we're talking about, but your chances of winning at that point, when it's a direct tutor to free cast, is pretty much 100%. I can't wait to see the Vorinclex Super Friends version of this crap with Lolth and, what's his face? The druid with the trees. Oh yeah, the Lorax. He goes by Ren, though. Next up, we got the basic lands, which I assume these would be in every booster because there's 10 of them. I don't know, who knows. They have a habit of not putting these in the fat packs, which makes me wonder what they will put there. But, these are pretty cool. They're borderless-ish. I mean, they're not full bleed borderless, but they're borderless. Any kind of weeb Japanese culture fans will think these are just the bomb. I don't. It's not really my style. I mean, I could appreciate looking at this kind of art when I'm at the Chinese buffet, which I'm pretty sure is owned by Koreans in my city. But, I don't know. I wouldn't really put these in my deck. I like cool-looking stuff. And honestly, I kind of like futuristic-looking stuff, which is why I'm thinking, well, I mean, I could admire these. It's just not the first thing I would reach for. I think these will probably be pretty affordable, though. I mean, if they're in every booster, you'll probably be able to get your hands on, 20, 30 of these to build whatever. My one beef, and I'm sure you already noticed it, is one of these things is not like the other. In fact, two of them are. In fact, kind of three of them are, but, well. From left to right, we got the plains, which one of them is overall extremely green, which look back at every land art made in the last, 10 years. They have a very narrow, chromatic zone that they work the art into. They can draw whatever they want, but it has to be, generally green or generally red. Well, that plains is generally green. Now, the big issue with this one is, I mean, it's literally a picture of plains, pretty much. I mean, you could say, oh, no, it's a farm. It's it looks like a tiered stepped rice farm or something. I don't know. It could be anything. But the symbol in the writing is white on all the other cards. So if you're just going to be like, oh, that's just another forest, I could see that, Gotta be careful of that one. Otherwise, the one on the bottom, it's almost generally yellow and blue. But, I mean, you know how plains get. They aren't usually white, oh, here have a bunch of snow. Because then it would just almost look like a mountain. It's pretty much just yellow is what they're going for. So, yeah, I mean, you got the sun in the other one. It's not that bad. But then you've got that is literally a forest. Oh, it's a waterfall, so what? It's a forest for that island there. Now, the other island, that's water. It's overall blue. They got blue birds. They got blue stuff in the background. They got a blue sky. That's how you do it. Then we got a purple swamp, which, it's usually black, purple. That's just what they do. And then we've got the reddest swamp I've ever seen in my life. In fact, that's not a swamp. That's the middle of a city, and it's all red. What were they thinking? At least the color band around it is black, but man, what were they thinking? Not a swamp, not black. I'm completely at a loss. Then for the mountains, they've got an actual literal mountain that's generally orangish red, and then they have an orangish red town. So there you go. Simple. And then the forests, it's both a forest and it's overall green. So that's how you do it correctly. So they got a couple in here that just boggle my mind. So finally, we've got the regular version of Atsushi. The one you just saw first in the video was a showcase frame, and then we've got the regular Hitetsugu. And then we've got the non-showcase version of Kaito Shizuki. So that's him normally, and that appears to be a origami raccoon. So get ready for that. I'm actually the most excited about that in this whole set, believe it or not. So, I mean, pretty tame stuff as far as power level goes across, what was that, 2 mythics and a rare? That's not bad. Maybe we'll finally see a power level reset, although at this point, I mean, does it matter? We still have to flush Kaldheim down the toilet, get that out of here in, late 2022? Oh my gosh. So, I mean, pretty cool. I mean, let me know if you're into it or not. I think this set, stylistically, let alone the cards, just like the card art and all that stuff, I know it's going to be extremely hit or miss because there's the hardcore, oh, Japanese, everything is better than everyone else, oh, superior culture, that absolute fantasy. Trust me, for every up, there's a down in the Japanese culture. And I'm not a fan of it in general. Just the whole samurai thing, I learned enough about their culture back then and how they did things and their history and their constant war and the warlords and how the samurai treated the people that I'm just when I hear the phrase Japanese culture, nothing good comes to mind from any period in time. But then you look at anything they make right now, everyone everywhere cares about stuff being clean and proper and done right and built right. And I can respect that. But I mean, I'll take a fantasy, medieval setting over anything. And I know the last time they did something kind of futuristic-ish like this was Kaladesh, so pretty recently. And people were like, what are giant robots and mechs and all this futurist crap doing in my set? And the funny thing is the cities weren't that modern. But I mean, you know, the Aether was kind of like electricity, so I don't know. I didn't care for the visuals just because I'm like, I haven't studied anything about like Indian art or whatever, so I'm not like, oh yeah, that thing that I got way into. You know, it's like if they did like a Polynesian / Hawaiian set or something, I'd be like, okay, whatever. But for every set, whether I absolutely adore the visuals and the art or hate it, I just eventually it's just cards. You know, you got to play the cards at the end of the day. So I just wanted to shout out, like, boy, is this gonna be controversial. It's gonna be the weebs, like Japan apologists, where they can do nothing wrong and Japanese culture is so superior. You know, those just absolutely intolerable people. Versus the when can we get back to an actual fantasy setting people, versus the people who are like hardcore Kamigawa and lore fans who are like, what the hell is this futurist cyberpunk crap? So I think the majority of people, when they even like saw some leaked footage of this, had like nothing nice to say about it. But if you're just like, oh, I'm not into this Japanese culture weeb crap, so I'm gonna, you know, give this a miss and not play for a while, like, just look at the cards, just play the cards. Who cares what's on it? I don't care what the lore is. I mean, half the time you got the bad guys and the good guys in the same damn deck. Like, at a certain point, you got to drop the art and the lore because nothing's going to make sense according to the story and the art, which you could, you know, care about or not. So at least give it a chance. All I care about is the mechanics and fairness and that kind of stuff. The visuals, I could care less. If you're into it, cool. I'm not. You know, to each their own. So that's my initial impression. I'm sure we're going to have more spoilers soon. I don't know if they mentioned exactly when they're going to start, because we're pretty far away from the launch of Kamigawa, actually. So this might be all we get for a while, so let me know what you think about it, and I'll see you guys next time.